I was like, holy cow, Bambi.
How about,
Did he leave his skate guards on? You got to be kidding me. Like two other three guys that played in the band. I know you got more money than...
yeah, I was gonna say.
Like, is it on? So we were playing here. Welcome, everybody. We're here live with Krystall Poppin from El Paso, Texas. Welcome.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. Excited
Mexican-American rapper, the hidden gem of West Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. No, I'm honored to be here, really. You know what I mean? Like, I was telling you earlier that I haven't been here since I was like a little girl. So, you know, like elementary school when the Buzzards were here. So I'm really excited to be back.
That's awesome. I kind of aged myself when you said the Buzzards. So as I told you, I played with them years ago and stayed here, and here we are.
Yeah, that
so
is
it's kind of funny.
Cool. That's cool. I feel like, you know, like history.
Exactly.
Full circle right now.
You know, you're coming to the game tonight, which is going to be awesome.
Yes.
Playoff game 3 of best of 5, series 1-1.
Oh, we're going to win.
We better win.
We are.
Or else you're not allowed to come back.
I know. Yeah.
So that's one of those things.
Okay, I'm going to make sure. I'm going to cheer really loud.
Exactly. And you're going to bring your family, which is awesome.
Yes.
We have some fun stuff for you tonight, so it'll be a lot of fun. Cool. So you got started, you were super young. I know your dad, he was a big Notorious B.I.G. fan.
Yeah, just like East Coast rap in general.
Right.
Like that was just all I would listen to when I was, you know, basically in the womb growing up and stuff.
That's awesome. And then from there you started and in 2015 I think is when it kind of really took off for you.
Yeah, I did I got on the mic a little bit before 2015, but I feel like 2015 was the year that I actually became like an artist, because that's when I moved out of town. I became a musician full time. I was dedicated like all my time to music. So I really feel like 2015 was like the year that you can really say that I became like Krystall Poppin.
That's awesome. And you were born and raised here. You went to Austin High School?
Austin High School, yeah.
So you graduated, obviously you finished your high school here, and then you did that, and then you moved to Vegas.
Yeah.
And then I heard some news as we were walking in. I don't know if we're allowed, but you moved back to El Paso.
Yes, I did.
So El Pasoans, that's awesome. She's back.
Yes, I'm glad to be back, honestly, because since 2015, I haven't lived here. And it was a lot of, I started traveling a lot, but then I would still have to come home often. I was here for holidays. I was here for like, you know, business as well. What would happen here too, music things. I opened for artists here and stuff all the time. So I was just realizing that I was traveling back here a lot. So it just made more sense for me to move back here and just travel everywhere else. And that's making it a lot easier because traveling is so hard. Like just as a woman traveling, you got to get like your makeup stuff, your hair stuff. You're just like all your outfits. You never know what you want to wear till it's time to wear it. You know what I mean? Like it takes us so long to get ready. So traveling is just very hectic for me. So I was like, okay, I'm going to like go back home and just, you know, travel when I have to. And then I really like the fact that I'm able to connect with the community here now more, because I wasn't really able to do that. Like, for instance, like this interview, like had I lived somewhere else, I wouldn't have been able to do it. And this is something that I love doing, you know, like I want to be involved more.
You know, and I think that is so cool that you give back to the community, so to speak. Yeah. And I think that's truly amazing. I know you did one of your latest videos you did here with Imperial Car Club.
Yeah.
You did it just over here.
Yeah,
you know?
I did.
And that we were listening to it. That song's awesome.
Nice, thank you. This is what I need. That's featuring Baby Bash.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really, really cool.
Yeah.
And you know, are those your homegirls from El Paso?
Yeah. A lot of them. A lot of the times, like it's really cool because if I need like models for videos and stuff, like I follow a bunch of really cool girls here. And then sometimes like I'll reach out for the first time and just be like, hey, come out to my video. And then they'll come out to my video. And then just from then on, we're just like throwing love at each other all the time. And then every video I invite them to, they're coming through. Like any appearance I have, I'm hitting them up and stuff. So it's really cool, like the way that the women here like interact with me.
That's really cool. And that video is really awesome.
Thank you.
We like the beat, and hopefully we hear it a little bit tonight. I talked to our DJ. I'm like, hey man, you gotta mix this in. And
I like that. Okay.
You know, we're really super excited that you're here.
Nice.
You know, it's awesome. And you said like from looking at your biography and some of your videos and stuff like that, you always say that this is you. Yeah. This is not a fake you.
Yeah.
This is you. And I need to ask, and but judging by what you just said earlier, you answer your own social media.
Oh yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
And you know, when I first reached out to you, and I'm like, oh, that was quick.
Yeah.
You know, and then just the relationship with you we built through communication via email and text.
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah.
So that is you, and that is real, and that is super amazing.
Thank you.
Because you don't see that.
Yeah, that doesn't happen a lot, you know, especially when everything starts getting a little hectic online. Like the DMs just filled up in the comments and stuff.
I can imagine.
But I realized that having that connection with the people who are trying to connect with me makes it stronger, and you go further, just because like it's real easy for me to put like an automatic message for people. And then when I get an automatic message, I stop. Like, I'm just like, okay, like I never come back. I never circle back. So, whether I'm handling business in the DMs or responding to my supporters in the comments, I make sure I'm there and just present, you know?
That's awesome. That says a lot about you. It says a lot about your whole upbringing as well.
Yeah.
Like it really, really, really does. And you don't forget your roots, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, never. No.
You shouldn't though.
No.
You know what I mean? And I think that just makes that person even bigger and more genuine and more liked and loved.
Yeah, for sure. Because I think that like when someone it's so hard for people to show love. I don't know why, but it is. And when people are showing you love, you have to recognize that it's not owed to you. So when it's happening, you need to like embrace it, you know?
100%.
That's what
that's what like I've learned, you know, myself with my hockey career when I was playing. You know, obviously we were at some sort of a celebrity status as well when we were playing. And it's just we're always giving back to the community, always teaching, you know, signing autographs for the youngsters, going on the ice and educating. And we've instilled that with our Rhino players too. That's something that we encourage. And it's not even you have to encourage because they want to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's, you know, somebody was giving their time and effort for you.
Yeah.
Time to give back.
Yeah. Like reciprocate.
Absolutely.
You know?
And we see that with our crowds. And you see that with your followings and your crowds and the energy that people bring. And it's simply awesome. So my hat goes off to you on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So on your long journey, and you still got a, you know, long career to go. What are some of your highlights?
Highlights. One of my Paso highlights that for sure is just like the first thing I thought of when you asked that was I opened for Cardi B.
Nice.
Across over there in the Coliseum.
Yeah.
And that one was a really cool moment because at that point it was the biggest concert I had ever done, biggest artist I had ever opened up for. And I feel like, and that was also when I had barely released my album Raw Gold Honey. So everything just kind of lined up for that show to happen. And I gained a lot of supporters from that concert to this day that like, they'll come and be like, oh my God, I've been following since the Cardi B show in El Paso. Like they'll tell me that and I'm just like, dang, I picked up a lot of really cool like local following from that show. So that's definitely a highlight for me. Another thing I did that was really cool was I went on tour with Ice Cube.
Nice. He's one of my favorites.
Right. It has to be. And I went on tour with him, and one of the shows was
Come on,
here.
Craig, top of the world, Craig.
I know, exactly, dude. Like Friday's like my favorite movie, you know
right?
But I opened for him at the Don Haskins Center. So just like I'm hitting these big venues, you know what I mean? And it's just really cool to see like the work pay off.
Yeah.
You know, in those kinds of ways where like these arenas that you go to since you're little, like now you're performing at them. Like that's
got to be awesome too.
Yeah.
You know, like some of the people that you work with and perform in front of.
Yeah.
You know, they're now your peers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's something to say right there.
Yeah, definitely.
That's no joke. He's Ice Cube is no joke, man.
I know.
And he seems like a very genuine guy too.
Oh, he is because there was an opportunity for me to go meet him at the end of the concert, right? And we were all waiting like outside the door. It was a bunch of people. Yeah. And then when the security came out, he was like, I'm only going to let in a few of you. And then he looked at me and he's like, you can come in. And I was like, oh my God, like I'm going to go, I'm going to go meet him. Okay, cool. So I'm walking in and it's a really long like hallway and stuff. And then I finally get to the back of the room and Ice Cube's there. He's just standing, just chilling. You know what I mean? And then I think he knew like he was going to take pictures and stuff. So he's just ready. And I go to him and I was like, what's up, Cube? Like, I'm such a big fan of you. Thank you for everything you've done for the culture. And then I was like, my name's Krystall Poppin. I opened up for you. And he was just like, oh, and he looked at me like he looked at me. And he was like, that's what's up. And I'm like, can I take a picture with you? And he was like, yeah, for sure. So real smooth, real cool. Like he actually like, he wasn't just like, all right, come on, like hurry up. You know what I mean? Like he could have easily, I've met people that do that. And he like took his time to like talk to me and stuff. So that was really cool.
That's awesome. Mm-hmm. You know, he's big.
Yeah.
He's huge, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So kind of on a different, same kind of spectrum, but just getting into the game too, is the Mexican OT.
Oh yeah. Shout out
Dude, that
Mexico
guy's awesome.
Yeah, I know him.
So I was looking at some of the content online, and obviously you had an interview and you did some stuff with him, and
yeah.
I think he's awesome. I just think that guy is so genuine as well.
Yeah, he's cool. He's so cool, honestly. Like
Houston, right? Is he from Houston?
He's from Houston. I think he's not necessarily. It's like outskirts Houston.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He'll get mad if we don't say that. But I'm just saying. But he's so cool. Like, I think for someone who has gone so big, he's still like, whenever I do run into him, like he's still like, Krystall, what's up? Like, how you been? You know what I mean? I've known him for like maybe 2 years already. But yeah, like he's just so cool.
Yeah, he seems like a really cool, genuine guy.
Yeah,
and I think that's what's so unique about yourself and some of those other, artists, that it's, you don't get the fake. And I'm not saying that the industry is fake, but just that personas with some, like, they don't answer their own social media. It doesn't mean you're fake if you don't do that. But
right.
But you take the time. Ice Cube takes the time, and you're not just a person.
Yeah.
You're like going to take time.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's huge.
For sure. Because you can't just like, I don't know, like, I think attention makes people, it makes people egotistical, but then that's the first way that you lose people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never want to lose anybody.
But on the other hand, though, it's got to be hard.
Oh, it is.
With the spotlight always on you.
Yeah.
Like if you don't look your best, you get shamed.
Right.
Or you don't perform your best, or you say something that's taken so out of content that gets blown up in the wrong way, and that changes things.
Yeah.
I think that is so unfair.
Yeah, it definitely is. I think that being in the spotlight, you're like under like a magnifying glass. Yeah. I like, in that sense, I don't think it's fair. But then at the same time, I see like maybe the audience. There's people in the audience that feel like that should be me. Why is it
right.
her? Things like that, or just like
it comes with the territory, right?
It does. That's why you have to accept it.
Yeah.
Like, I think it took me a long time to get used to like the negative attention. Yeah. It took me so long just because I was bullied when I was growing up. Yeah. And I'm like, that's how what life was to me, you know what I mean? So then I think that once it was like online, it just kind of like felt so big, And then it just took a lot of time, a lot of patience, and a lot of trusting and understanding to like figure out that no one's gonna tell me who I am. And I know who I am, and I know why I'm here, and I know what I'm doing. And believing in myself.
Yeah, that's
got me
awesome.
through that, yeah.
Awesome. And, we talked also early about, are you going to be doing any events in El Paso anytime soon?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. I'll be doing a bunch of events. I got this car show coming up May 5th.
Is that here?
That'll be here, yeah.
At the Coliseum?
That'll be here. I think it's at Fox Plaza, actually.
Okay.
I'll be also doing, tomorrow, I'm going to be... entered into the El Paso Museum of History.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Thank you. They have like a exhibit where they're talking about musicians throughout history in El Paso. Like, I think they're going back like 50 years or something like that. They could be more. But they reached out and they were just like, we would love to include you into this exhibit because, you are the now, and like things like that, They said that they're going to play like one of my music videos. Nice. And then, and the video is called Livin'. I'm wearing this like sweater that my brother made from Frontera Company. And it has the Virgin Mary on it. Yeah. And they actually asked specifically for that piece. They're like, if you could bring that piece, we'll display it in the museum. And I'm just like, oh, that is so cool. So
really good.
Yeah,
that's
they'll have
awesome.
it. They'll have it out there. So
that's really cool. Mm-hmm. Good for you.
Thank you.
And that says a lot too. Like, you're everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Yeah, you have to be, though. You know what I mean? Like, you really got to put yourself out there. I realize that, too. Yeah. Like, things aren't sitting down and waiting for things to come. Like, nothing's ever going to happen. So you just got to...
You got to be a go-getter, right? Yeah. And you got to be seen. You got to be out there. You got to be putting yourself out there.
Always. That's what's the name of the game.
On a given day, now that you're back here, let's talk about when you were in Vegas.
Okay.
So what would Krystall do on a daily basis?
In Vegas, really, like, I'd get up, I'd get my morning started and I'd just jump in the studio. And at that time, I was really teaching myself a lot because I didn't know what I know now. I didn't know how to even record myself when I first moved out there. So it was really like me, like on YouTube University, just like how do you record on Ableton and like how do you turn on the interface? Like literally like rap 101. And I did that for a long time. And then once I started getting the hang of like how to operate on my own, like in the studio, that's when I really feel I was able to get more creative. And then I picked up a bass guitar just to see what was up. You know, I didn't actually like go all the way with it, but you know, I picked it up for a little while, and I picked up the guitar for a little while. I play keys by ear. Like I don't know, like I can't play like, you know, like that, but by ear I can play instruments and stuff. And I just taught myself a lot out in Vegas. It was really just like trial and error, experimentation. I had a band in 2017. We had like a secret SoundCloud and like secret music out and stuff. So we have a whole bunch of music that we're going to put out soon because I feel like the music we made was really timeless. So I'm going to I'm going to release that music soon. And now I'm in a band now, you know what I mean? Now we're traveling and stuff. So a lot of really cool things is happening since Vegas. You know what I mean? Like when I feel like I was just like a baby artist out there.
So the wings are definitely expanding. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So obviously studios takes a lot of your time. For sure. Yeah. Yeah. So when you do go to an event, there's obviously rituals. I don't know if you can talk about your rituals because I had rituals when I was playing hockey. Oh, what were your rituals? And one of them was not to say. Okay. I take these away. Okay. Some of my rituals, I'm done now, so I can talk about it, was I would eat the same thing. Oh, okay. You know, for a pregame meal. Yeah. If I did well, I would have it again. If I didn't, I'd kind of switch it up. Okay. So that was one of them. Nice. I would always have a Pepsi and a chocolate bar on the way to the rink. Didn't matter if I wanted it or not. Or finish it. I would have it. Nice. And then, you know, just there was some other rituals that I would do, but I'm not going to get into those. Okay. But, you know, there's obviously some. And some of the guys that I know, it's got to be extremely stressful because if they don't do this, this, and this, it's in their head. Oh, right? They're going to have a bad game or they're not going to do well. And I didn't take it that far. You know what I mean? I'd try to stick to it. And if it worked, I would do it again. If it didn't, I'd kind of switch it up. But what about yourself? I really think the only like ritual thing that I really like to do is I like to take a shot of Henny before I go on stage. Like it has to be like almost when I'm about to go on stage. You know what I mean? Like I feel that just gets me like in like it's time mode and kind of like starts to like boom, like let's get it. Other than that, I mean, I say a prayer before I go up there too. You know what I mean? If we have to travel anywhere in the car and stuff, like the whole team, like we'll pray before we go out. Nice. And then other than that, I like if I feel I do good, which usually is the case, then I just let loose, you know, and I just have fun. I make sure everyone that's with me, that's on my team, like that everyone just has a great time to congratulate everyone for like putting their efforts to making a great show. Well, your shows, the videos that we've seen, you certainly like to entertain. Yeah. And that's awesome. Yeah. So when you go to an event, do you have a rider? Do I have a rider? Your dressing room rider, like RIDR. I think I'm saying it right. Yeah. Sometimes. I like the bigger shows. Like so, you know, you made it when you got a rider, right? You know what I mean? I've been able to do it a couple times. Yeah, for real. So before I was with the Rhinos, I was the VP of operations at the Coliseum. So I dealt with a lot of acts coming in, and just to see some of the riders that would come in. Yeah, they're crazy. I need to have 3 Dr. Pepper and 1 Diet Mountain Dew and 3 chocolate chip cookies and it's like, okay, perfect, you know? Yeah. But I have one story. Talia was coming into town and, you know, I got the rider. We had everything set up and it was literally probably 5:30 p.m. the day of. And it's a funny story. Okay. And I'm going through everything and my boss is like, so who's the mariachi band that's coming? And I just had this stupid look on my face. I'm like, what are you talking mariachi band? He's like, no, she wants a mariachi. She wanted a mariachi. And I was just like, and sure, it's in the rider. No, but apparently way. I missed it. So I was like, you got to be kidding me. And this is back when she was big, right? Like, so we scrambled. Luckily, who's going to turn down to come and open with her, right? Like, so it didn't take a lot of work. So we had this mariachi band come in, and it was younger kids because she wanted younger kids. Oh, nice. Okay. I was like, thank God we were able to pull that off. But that's one of my my things.
I be hearing about writers, and then even people like encourage me to get crazy on them, and I'm like, I don't need all that. You know what I mean? Like, I really don't.
Right.
I think the craziest writer I ever did, I was like, I need a fruit plate, a couple bag of hot Cheetos, and I need Fiji water. Like, I was like specific. Like, I was like, it has to be Fiji. I don't know why.
But you know, like if you're given the opportunity.
Yeah. That's what everyone was telling me that day.
Right? Like,
they're like, anything you want, literally. And I told them, I was like, I just want water. And then they were just like, the people I was sending it to, they were just like, you can literally ask for anything you want. And I'm like, all right, hot Cheetos. Like, I don't know.
Let me push it, the hot Cheetos.
Yeah. Huh?
We take care of her, but she does have a rider. That's how the bottle is.
Right,
I mean, sometimes I'll be like, it has to be, like, if there's anything cool, it has to be the Henny bottle.
Sure,
you know what I mean?
yeah, right. Like, there's got to be something.
Yeah.
But if you're given the opportunity, I would take it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think
Just
I
to see how far you can push
my
it.
little humble self. I just feel like guilty. You know, you're asking all this crazy stuff. I hear like Beyonce, like she can only have like one specific color of M&Ms, and I'm just like, that's crazy. You know what I mean?
But you know, like the industry has got to be crazy.
Oh yeah.
You know, like I dealt with it for probably 6-7 years, but obviously just on the building side. But as an artist, it's got to be crazy.
It's hectic. It's really the Wild West. It's the music industry.
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah.
it's everyone's just kind of like. There's good people.
Sure.
I've been so lucky to be surrounding myself with good people that have been with me for years, but there's snakes out there in the grass. You know what I mean? Like there's people that are just like take it when they can. Like they just doing anything they can to advance in their own careers. Whoever they got to step on, that they'll do it. You know, it's just what it is. You got to learn how to swim in a pool of sharks.
Yeah.
You know?
Your thick's got to be skin, or your skin's got to be thick for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And it's coming at you at every angle all the time, really. You know what I mean? And then to balance that with like personal life, it's a hard thing to do.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah.
You know, like somebody like yourself, you're traveling, you're young, you're pretty, you know, it's got to be hard. You know what I mean? It really, really does.
Yeah.
You know, and as a female artist, it's got to be 10 times as hard.
For sure. Yeah. Being a female, it just so much goes into it. Like the other day, someone was like doing an inquiry for me. They're like, can you come out in my music video? It's only going to be like a 30-minute thing. And I was like, I don't really do that, but I mean, I'll do it for this price. You know what I mean? And then they kind of like were like, oh my God, for 30 minutes? And I'm like, actually, it takes me 4 hours to get ready. So it's going to take me 4 hours and 30 minutes plus travel time to handle your music video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they just didn't know what to say after that. And I was just like, realize like when you want like the hair, the makeup, you know, the outfits and stuff, like it takes time, it takes money, it takes energy. You know?
Well, and that's just it. And you're at the peak of, you know, you're able to do that now.
Yeah.
Maybe as you're starting out, obviously a little bit more lenient, so you can get yourself on the page. I told you earlier, my daughter models.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And she.
So you know what it is.
But when she started like, Dad, what do I charge? I'm like, I have no idea.
Yeah.
So we're asking my wife, like, she's like, I have no idea. So we threw out a price.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then probably about 2 or 3 months later, like, you should be asking for this. And I almost felt guilty, like, really?
Yeah.
So we did, and sure enough,
Yeah.
you know, like, but if you don't know, you don't know.
Right. Yeah. And I definitely had to learn that coming along the way, like what
But you
to
also
charge.
have to pay your dues too, right?
For
you
sure.
got to.
Yeah, for sure. Like I would understand if I didn't have like the platform I had or like done what I done the groundwork that I have done. I would understand if people were like side-eyeing my prices, but I feel like I've done like my time, you know.
And the value, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're obviously calling you because they want you.
Yeah.
So this is what it is.
Yeah.
If you
for
like
sure.
it, great. If not, thanks.
And then I think the cool thing about me for sure is that when I work on a project or do anything with somebody, like I take care of that interaction. You know what I mean? Like I make sure that I'm giving my best. Like if it's a tiny little show out in a little city, like I'm going to put my best into it. I'm going to look great. I'm going to perform amazing. I'm going to, you know, treat them well and stuff. And I think that's also why I don't feel bad charging what I charge, because you're going to get the best of me
100%.
every single time, because I feel like that's important for my business to make sure
100%.
that people enjoy working with me, you know?
And that's like your vibe right now. Like when we met you guys outside, it's just, I didn't know what to expect, to be honest. And it's just simply awesome. Like
Thank
the energy
you.
that you guys bring and your humbleness and all that is unbelievable. I would have never guessed per se.
Wow, people tell me that all the time.
What I mean?
I wonder what it
and
is.
then, like, there's things that I asked you, and I wanted to know, like, because you say that this is you.
Yeah.
I don't change. This is me, and I truly believe that now that I've met you, and that don't change, no matter how big you get. Don't forget that.
Yeah. No.
My dad always said it's easy going up.
Yeah.
And it's tough coming down.
Yeah, for sure. I think.
See the same people.
Yep. The crazy thing that did happen to me in the industry, just like a quick mention about it, is I met people who wanted to change me. They wanted me to forget everything about who I was and just be this other thing. And because I was younger and I was very like impressionable, like I kind of like let them lead me that way. And in the end, like I got like depressed about it, and I couldn't imagine living the rest of my life like that. So I stepped away from that situation, and I was just like, no. And that's when I found out, I guess, that like the only way I want to get to the top is by being myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I think the best part about El Paso is that if you don't forget El Paso, El Paso's not going to forget you.
That's true.
But the minute you forget El Paso,
Yep.
done. And there's some other artists around that have gotten big.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention names, but
Yeah.
I've heard some stories.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, I don't know what it is. Like, even before I was like Krystall Poppin, and I was just like a cosmetologist cutting hair at a salon, driving around freeways. I would look around the city and just like appreciate it. You know what I mean? I just love where I'm from. I love my city. I love representing. I love talking about it. I love the food. I love the people.
Yeah.
Like, I love showing us off when I'm out there. You know what I mean? And I think that when I'm in rooms with people from LA, from Houston and stuff, like, I definitely stand out. And I feel like it's that little like touch that we got,
People think of El Paso as the armpit of Texas, right? Like, no, let's be honest, right? When you travel, it's like when I used to travel, and when I travel now, it's like El Paso, like New Mexico.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
Texas. You know what I mean?
People think we're in Mexico.
Right.
People have asked me that before.
Well, the true story is when I came down to El Paso in end of 97, I remember flying in and I looked out this airplane on the right. I'm like, I see desert, and I look on the other side, I see Mexico.
Yeah.
And my dad's like, where are you going? I'm like, El Paso, Texas. He's like, you mean Mexico?
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah.
no.
Yeah, they think, I've met people out there, like in Atlanta and stuff. They'd be like, El Paso, ain't that in Mexico? And I'm like, no, we're in Texas.
No, we're the salsa, man.
Yeah, we're in Texas, But we're so unique. We got our own thing going on. I love that about us.
Like, you see a lot of people move away from El Paso.
Yeah.
But they kind of seem to return.
Yeah.
At some point in time.
Yeah. I think that's a good thing.
I
Definitely. I think that you have to leave to appreciate it.
Yeah, 100%.
Even if it's for a little while. Like, I kind of always knew deep down inside that when I moved, it wasn't going to be permanent. Because I definitely wanted, when I do buy my house, like, I want it to be here and like stuff like that. So I just always felt like this is my home.
Yeah.
For sure. And
well, El Paso loves you, that's for sure.
Yeah, I love El Paso too.
Yeah,
I think that's the coolest thing about it. You know what I mean? Like, when your city starts to embrace you and just like support you and what you're doing, like, it just feels so good, because it's like, if your own city can't back you up, how is your state, your country, the world? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can't take over any of those if you can't take over your city.
100%. And not only has music done good for you, well, it has done good for you, but it's kind of brought you on some different ventures.
Oh, yeah.
You got a clothing line, merch line, the bikini.
Yep.
I saw that today.
Yeah.
You got some other stuff going on.
Yeah.
OG Poppin.
Yeah. Poppin' OG.
Poppin' OG. Tell us a little bit about that and how that got started and where we're at with that.
With Poppin' OG?
Everything.
Okay, with everything. So I think I just always knew that music had to lead me to other avenues. You know what I mean? Like, anybody you meet that's rich or whatever, they'll be like, you need multiple streams of income, multiple streams of income. I've always heard that term. And so just throughout time, I was just always figuring out like, how can I create these streams of income that still lead back and go hand in hand with music? So merch was the first one, merch and clothing and stuff like that. Creating a clothing line that people can like, even if they don't like my music. Like, that was a goal for me. That I got that down pretty pat. And then Poppin' OG came along because I wanted to, there's just like rappers who that's all they talk about. There's festivals dedicated to that industry and stuff. And I always felt like,
and it's the norm now.
Yeah, for sure.
It really is.
For sure. Like Texas needs to get with it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I just think that it was something I always wanted to do, and I wanted to get into it, not just like slap my name on a package. Like I actually went to the growery, like I tried different strains, like I talked with the owners, and like we just kind of like worked together in this kind of like partnership. And then we started developing like the packaging and everything that was going to go with it and stuff like that. And it was important for me to create a strain that I enjoyed. You know what I mean? That way I could be proud to promote it and stuff. Because I would hate to be like out here like promoting something that I don't even believe in. Like, you know what I mean? That would be crazy. And so that's how it happened. A shout out to Astro Buds for real, like for, you know, taking the chance on me and backing me on that, because I definitely want to take that as far as I can.
That's good. Well, that's great that you're venturing into different things, and not only with your music career, but it's so good to see you being successful and being a representative of El Paso and doing different things. So my hat goes off to you.
Thank you.
For our listeners out there, young listeners, what do you have to say to them? I'm Krystall Poppin from El Paso, Texas, just like anybody else, and here I am.
I guess to the young people out there, when I was young, I didn't have anybody telling me, like, encouraging my talents and just like helping me realize my potential. I never really had that. So if you guys are real young and you have an interest, I'm going to tell you, like, pursue it, go for it, like experiment with it, like twist it and turn it and see if you even like it. And after you spend time with it, maybe you don't like it and then you want to move on to something else. Yeah. You have the right to do that. You have the time to do that. The only thing I ever say was that I wish I started writing even younger because I would be so much more advanced than I am right now. And I had the capability, had someone just like recognize that in me. You know what I mean? I always had diaries and journals all around all the time and stuff like that. I was always really creative. I was in like the gifted and talented program and stuff. I was a nerd, you know what I mean? But I pursued school just because that's what I wanted. You know, I wanted good grades. And I definitely had like my family like, you better get good grades, you know what I mean? But it was just something that I wanted. You know, that's why I did it. And I would just like to let everyone know that if there's like, maybe there is someone out there that can help you, you know? And if there isn't anyone out there, we live in the age of the internet where YouTube University, I'm telling you, will get you there. You can figure everything and anything out on YouTube, I swear. If you want to rap, if you want to cook, if you want to build cars, like you can do it now. You know, and just go for it, and believe in yourself. That's
a great message. And that's the thing. There's nothing too high. Yeah. You know, set your standards high and go for it because you never know.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the thing for the young people, even older kids, man. Just go for it. Yeah. There's no such thing as failure.
Yeah. Be curious. Yeah. Be curious, and excited.
Yeah. And you know, having family support is huge. Obviously, it's helped you.
It is. I've met a lot of artists in my time doing this where their families did not support them, their decisions or anything like that. And I can't imagine like making it this far without them, you know?
And that's good. Family support is huge, right? Obviously, in any case, in any realm. And just because maybe if you don't have family, they're still successful artists because, you know, you see a lot of artists that don't have that support. Yeah. And I'm not saying they come from broken homes, but that's what it is,
it's just
right?
harder.
It's harder,
you know?
right?
Like you're
maybe a different background, harder background.
Yeah, because I've met people where they're constantly trying to just like prove something to their family, you know, like, or just people that they wanted to support them, like that were close. That's got to be tough because those are the first people around when like you're figuring it out, you know, like before you got fans, your family's listening to your music. You know?
And obviously, you know, there's doubt in your own mind and you need that supporting crew, the staff or whatever, your family to, nah, man, go for it. Let's go. And I'm sure that helps a lot.
It does, for sure. And I was also really lucky to pick up my team early on. Before I even moved out, I picked up my team and they're still with me today.
That's awesome. Yeah. That says a lot about you too. Yeah. You know what I mean? And your team, your collective, you know, everybody involved with it. Yeah. That's huge.
Yeah, for sure.
So moving on to tonight.
Yes.
Big game tonight. Game 3 of a best of 5.
Yes, that's really cool.
I know you're super excited. Your last game maybe was with the Buzzards years and years ago.
Yeah.
What's your prediction?
Oh, we're going to win.
We better win.
We're going to win.
Going to win because if we win tonight and tomorrow, series over, we go on to the next round.
We're going to win because I'm going to go talk crap to the other team.
Perfect.
I'm going to throw popcorn at them.
Yeah, there you go. And we got some cool stuff going. You're going to be the guest of the game. You're going to be a puck dropper. And then, my highlight of my night is driving the Razor.
Yeah.
And we bring it out on the ice. And you're going to see, I'm not going to give it away too much since you already ruined your other surprise.
I know. Sorry.
I'm just teasing you, but it'll be a lot of fun. We're going to have some fun with it. And I just want you and your crew and your family to enjoy tonight. And thank you for joining us. It's been a huge honor to have you here.
Thank
you. It really
you.
has. I know the guys were excited to have you on.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Honestly, I love this.
I know Jay in the back there, his wife, is a huge fan.
Are you serious?
Is a huge fan. So he asked if he could sit up here because he's, absolutely.
Oh, that is so cool. I got to bring some posters tonight then.
Perfect.
For sure.
I think they're coming, but anyway.
Really? Okay, cool. I'll have posters on me.
That's cool. But yeah, again, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah,
it's been a pleasure. And thank you, sir. Appreciate your time as well. And
yeah, thank you. Honestly, thank you, El Paso. Like, I really am feeling like the love from the city lately, and I just want to say I'm so grateful, and I've always wanted this. So thank you for that, and I can't wait to just give more.
Awesome.
Give more of myself to the city.
City El Paso loves you dearly, so you're doing good things, and we look to see more.
Thank you.
Thanks again for having us. Appreciate you.
I'll see y'all tonight.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 17, along with Eddie Fritz.
What's up,
Gold Coach video guy from the Savannah Ghost Pirates. I got to be careful how I say that.
Yeah, no, that's me.
Welcome back to El Paso, bud.
Thank you, man. It's very nice to be back.
Once a Rhino, always a Rhino.
Yes, sir. R4L, man.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody asked me that. So on our pucks, we have R4L.
Yeah.
And it was like, what does that stand for?
Yeah.
R4L. So Rhino for life.
Yep.
For those that didn't know.
Yeah.
And that's true. So
Absolutely,
you're
man.
back in town.
Yeah.
I know you have some roots here still besides the Rhinos.
I do.
And how's that going?
Great.
When's the big announcement? If there's any, I like putting you on the spot every time I see you.
Yeah, I love it. It's okay.
And I bug her too.
Yeah, she'll love it. It's fine. No, you'll get the invitation.
I better.
You'll get the invitation.
I want to be in the party. I want to be. No, I don't want to be in the party because I know you have lots of. I'd love to be in the party, but I know you have lots of buddies and you got many to take care of. But at least I want to go to the wedding.
You'll come. You'll be there.
I hope so.
We'll get you there.
I'd love to be there, and I would because you're my boy.
100%.
Always been my boy. I love you. Last year Eddie was at the beginning of last year, towards end of summer, beginning of the season, just before the season.
Yep.
And correct me at any point that I'm wrong.
No.
I've got a mush head. Eddie was our NE3 coach and NE goalie coach. He kind of wore two hats. And towards the end of summer, just before the season started, Eddie had an opportunity to move on to bigger and better things. And, you stepped up a couple ladders to the pro level in the East Coast Hockey League.
I did, yeah. That was a hard day, man. Like I felt like I was letting a lot of people down, and I know you said you were happy for me, and I appreciated that. But like those kids that we recruited, that was a really hard conversation because we had a lot of really good kids on that team that I loved and cared for. And that's how I recruited. I recruited like any parent would hope that a coach would. And, it's someone that's like, hey, I'm taking care of your son for 9 months. Right. And then I had, Sherm as well. A beloved Sherm on the podcast.
Yeah.
Who I felt like I was able to take on a really cool mentorship role with. And he's awesome, man. Like he was so good from the start when he got hired, and I felt really bad, but it was a hard day, but it was cool. It was a good opportunity to take. And so I had to jump.
It is. And for those that don't understand the process, it's just like players is, you want to move on to bigger and better things. That's why you play the game. You want to advance. You want to get better. You want all that opportunity.
Yeah.
But that goes the same as coaches. It goes the same with staff.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the hockey world is so unique because an opportunity can arise the minute you walk out the door.
Yeah.
And it did for you. And I joke about this all the time, but it is true what happened. You came into my office and I'm pretty sure you weren't ready for you weren't looking forward to that moment.
No, I was not.
not so much of our professional work relationship, but as the bond as a friendship. Because Eddie, absolutely. I love you. You know that you're my boy, and I love you like a kid brother, man. But when you came in, you're like, I knew something was up because just the look on your face, man. I was like, I know what's coming.
Yeah.
And I think I told you, I'm super happy for you. I'm proud of you. But get out of my office and give me 24 hours.
Yeah. No, that's pretty close to how it went, and I understood. I like I said, I got it. But at the end of the day, man, like I appreciated that too. Like everyone needs their space to get it through their head. And when I got that phone call, I needed time. I was like, oh my gosh, like what is going on here? So it was cool. It was a dream come true. It was fun to make that happen. And, I'm looking forward to more.
Yes, and super, super proud of you.
Thanks,
I
man.
really, really am. And you're such a very unique individual. And I mean that in all the positives, because you are probably the most positive person I've ever met in my life.
I try.
And I mean that in the most respect, because we could be having a bad day and just, you always bring, you bring in just such a presence into the room. Just because, hey, fellas, it can't be that bad. It's hockey.
Yeah.
There could be worse things in life.
That really is. It's the best job ever. Like whether you're here, whether Savannah, whether you're in the NHL, whether you're a Pee Wee hockey player, like it's the best thing ever. But like when you get above those youth levels and you're into junior hockey or you're working in hockey, you get to play college hockey and represent your school. It's the best job ever.
Yeah.
Like it's amazing. And there can't be a bad day when you're on the ice, man.
No,
it's your home, right? So,
and like I knew you were coming back for the summer or for a short time, just in and out. And, because your future's here and you're picking up her and she's packing up and moving on too. I won't get into too much of that, but when you came to the rink last week, it's not like you'd ever left. You came in and jumped in, you helped, you're just part of it again. You know what I mean? And it was super cool. And that says a lot about you as an individual, but it also says a lot to our guys because they're so open, to good 100%. People.
Yeah. I really appreciated the welcome back. It was cool. Man. And, there's nothing like a Rhino game, man. It's fun to be in the middle of the crowd and, the energy. You guys had a great crowd both Friday and Saturday night. It was really cool, man. And the guys played great. It was fun hockey to watch, man. There's some really good players on that team.
Yeah. So. Friday night obviously we came up short. Saturday was a huge one.
Yeah.
Crowd was crazy both nights, and we won't get into it, but it'll be part of next week's segment. But lost last night. Yeah. Lost Monday night in Shreveport.
Yeah. That was a tough one.
It was a tough one, and hence why Joe and Alec aren't on. It's been a long travel nights, for them, and Eddie was in town, so I asked him if he would jump on and with open arms and kind of tell your story, man.
100%. No, I'm glad to fill in.
So Savannah, Georgia, man.
Savannah, Georgia.
Tell us about it. Tell us about the city, everything about it. I want to know, man.
It's unbelievable, man. It is a really cool city. Like first and foremost, the fans are crazy. It reminds me of here, and they're both southern cities, and people have adopted hockey in these towns as their sport now. And it's support like none other. Like I'm the video coach. Like I don't go on the bench. I'm in the back room in the coach's room, tagging the game, organizing clips for the coaches, and like you walk out to go watch warm-ups or something, and there's people like, hi, Eddie. And it's like, hi, how you doing?
Who are you?
And it's unbelievable, man. You get to know these people, right?
Yeah, man.
And you integrate into the community. And I think if there's anything that El Paso taught me, it's that you have to adopt your community, your culture, the style of the city, the things that are great about the city to really build a good culture in any team. And Savannah has something that's so contagious. It's unreal, man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what about the program itself? East Coast Hockey League affiliated with an NHL club. But is on a day-to-day when obviously you're working with a superior athlete. Right. Obviously, these guys are professional. They're making money. They take care of their bodies a little bit different than what we've been accustomed to, possibly.
Yeah.
But then you also get guys coming down from the NHL, whether it's for injury conditioning, a wake up call, whatever the case may be. How's that?
It's day to day. It's anyone can be up at any time. Anyone can be down at any time as far as like in the affiliation. So it's definitely unique in that way. And you can be riding the bus home with one of the players, and then he gets off the bus and the coach says, "Hey, you got a call," and you're on a flight the next day.
Right
on. It's pretty cool for them. Obviously it's cool for us as a staff and as coaches to be able to work with, like you said, really good athletes, more developed, different experiences. They've been to college or they've played major junior in Europe, and and everyone's at a different stage in their career, whether they're, playing their 500th game, which, we had Anthony Collins on our team who played 500 ECHL games, let alone pro games. I mean,
it's a lot.
That's an incredible career. And it's like an honor, right? You talk to the guy, and it's like, you learn so much every time you talk with him about just pro hockey in general and about life. And, or you have younger guys who are on their first year of their contract and they're learning what pro hockey is like. Yeah. And then there's everyone in between. So there's a little bit, that's like, there's so much in common with that level. And the North American League, it's actually mind blowing, but at the same time, that vast gap of your personnel and where they're at in their career that's the very unique part about it.
Right on.
So
I would imagine it's got to be starstruck for you a little bit at the beginning, right? Because you're all of a sudden you're involved with this. It's like you got to look at yourself like, man, I'm doing good things as an individual, man. Because that's a great feat for you,
for sure. It's cool. It's a nice feeling of accomplishment. But I think for me, trying to stay focused on like maybe just more earning trust and earn trust in the coach's room first, and then you maybe go over a couple clips with the player and you earn that trust with him, and then you earn their trust talking to them in the players lounge or whatever. And like, I think that it was always a constant progression for me, just trying to like learn more from each individual and get better for me too, because you get to a certain level and it feels good, but it also like makes you really, really hungry too.
Yeah, of course.
And it makes it something that might be reachable for your goal, right? Yeah. And everyone's goal is to get to the NHL. I'd love to get to the NHL. So,
and just like a player, just like anywhere, being the new guy, it has its own challenges, and you just kind of explained to him there, like, you got to prove yourself, you got to gain trust, you have to just lead by example, and regardless of what your resume says beforehand, you still have to prove your point, and it 100%. Doesn't matter where you're at, whether again player, coach, anywhere.
Yeah,
it's not easy, man.
100% for any player,
especially in the hockey world, man.
Oh yeah,
just because it's cutthroat. Even for staff. Man, if you don't have thick skin, sometimes you're bowing out before you even get going.
Especially when you're around you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because I'm just terrible. Well, maybe.
No, not terrible, but you have some good chirps.
Yeah, man.
You gotta have thick skin. It's okay.
And that's one of the right. I do chirp a lot.
I love it.
I chirp a lot, and I just when my wife always asks me, she's like, are people okay with the way you chirp? I'm like, you only hear my other sides of it, because I get it back.
Yeah.
Not as much possibly, but I'm pretty quick-winded.
Yeah, you are.
I mean? And
I envy that.
Right.
I envy that. I can get them good off the cuff, but then once you get going back and forth, I can't get the comebacks as quick as you.
My daughter, it was probably like a year and a half, 2 years ago, and you know Cameron well.
Yeah.
You're one of her idols, and believe that, because she's always asking about you. She's like, Dad, like, can you teach me how to chirp? I'm like, no, I can't. Like, either you can or you can't. But I can tell you right now, if you can, you're ahead of the rest.
You're in.
You know what I mean? Like, like, people ask me, like, what do you do? I'm like, just say something.
Yeah.
Like, just blurt something out.
Yeah.
And sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. It's okay.
But anyway, regardless, she chirps like nobody's business.
Does she now?
Oh my God.
I'm excited to get on the ice with her, maybe.
Absolutely. Yeah, some of the stuff that she says, I'm like, Cameron, like, where are you getting that from?
Yeah.
Like, you can't say that. Like, but anyway, it's fun. But that's the hockey world, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, I haven't met too many hockey guys that haven't been able to chirp.
No, yeah. Me and our assistant coach. So this year I got to e-bug a few times, and I would just like hop on the ice for practice if a guy needed a day off or something. And me and our assistant coach Nick, like we had a great relationship in that way. Where like when we got on the ice, it was like we were just two players again. And he would always be like, "Hey, you want the belt?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I want the belt." And it would be one breakaway. And he ended the season with the belt, and I was so upset. He got me with a good move, and I was mad, man. But it's, you know, you just chirp each other and have a little fun, and, you know, you throw the pads on again, and it comes out.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because you and I have chirped, like, I tell you I can score 9 out of 10 on you, and you're like, you're always calling me, well, let's do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that day will ever come. I'd rather just talk about it than actually do it.
I mean, I've got one of your Easton sticks, so I can tape that up for you.
Yeah, maybe you might need it. But it's fun. And I'm speaking about e-bug, bud.
Yeah.
So I don't know when it was, and you can kind of fill the details. But somebody said, I think it was Keith, Keith Peel, he's one of our off-ice officials, head of off-ice officials, and we were playing, and I get a text message, and it has. It's a picture of a goalie in the corner, and I'm looking. I'm like, why is he sending me this? First of all, like, who is this? And I'm looking. I'm like, no way, that's Eddie. So then the questions, you know, were like, is that Eddie? Yeah. He got the e-bug. So what the e-bug is, folks, is emergency backup goalie. Okay, all leagues do it, and it's just an emergency. And you were that one.
The perk of me coming along is I come with gear, and
right.
I come with literal baggage, and it was something they had asked me like off the start. Was like, do you have your gear still? And I was like, yeah. And they were like, can you bring it? And I was like, sure. Not really thinking anything of it, but I guess the year before they had a couple experiences that were shocking for them, and so they were like, hey, if we end up needing someone or a guy needs a day off, do you mind hopping in? And I was like, no, absolutely, I'd love to, like, just for the experience.
Of course, right?
You know, and it comes back quick. Like, I'm obviously not in the shape I was when I was a player, but it's nice to have that rush again, that feeling, and, you know, of making a good save in a practice or something. And then, you know, the one time though, there's news cameras at one of our practices, and I got sniped. And I'm talking like I was so square and there was an inch, and I go down and I hear it hit the bar, and I'm like, oh man. And I look up and there's the news camera facing me right there, and I'm like, oh man, that's not good. That's not good.
And I'm sure you're getting chirped.
I was throwing some chirps, honestly. I think the guys were more like trying to rah me, and I was like, no, I want it to be competitive.
Right on.
Because they're like, you get on the ice with them, you're like brothers again, right? So there's that boundary as a staff member, and like, you know, you still keep it when you're on the ice with them in the pads, but at the same token, like,
well, you're one of them for 90 minutes or whatever it is, right? And even during the game as well. So then there was another, I don't know if it was you sent it or Nikki sent it, but there was one where you had your gear, your pads on your bottoms, and you're in the lounge cutting video.
Yeah. So when I did that, I think it happened, I don't know, 4 games or something like that. And it happens like you were talking about when someone gets called up, and oftentimes when we're on the road. And there was a time where we didn't have my gear on the road, and we had flown to South Dakota, and we got like a local guy. And he was awesome. Like, he was great. He, Denver Johnson. Yeah. What a name. And he was great. Like, you know, and he came out to morning skate, and, you know, we messed around. We put him through like a drill at the end, like just for fun with him. And, it was cool. Like, but then for me doing those other games, we ended up bringing my stuff on the road. And so to be able to be ready, to go, like if something happens, God forbid there's an injury, you need that backup goalie. So someone that can basically just go and stand in net. And I would hope that I would do okay.
Right.
But I'm sitting in the room still cutting video, and like, cause I still have a job to do. So,
right on.
I was in there cutting video with my pads on, and watching the game, and like every time you see someone kind of make some contact with, like at the time it was Jordan Paperny, and he kind of got pushed through to the side of the net while he was in the splits, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, please get up, Jordan, please. Please get up, man. But No, it's unique. And then I would go sit, like I would ask like, hey, you guys mind if, if I sit on the bench for the third or something, and just to get the experience. And honestly, for me, it's, I'm watching the coaches, and it's fun to see the game from that side of it too. It gives you a different perspective, because I'm used to just watching from the camera's perspective, but just hearing kind of how the coaches interact on the bench is learning for me. And again, like I talk about that hunger, like I always want to get better, and that was kind of my angle there, was like, if I can come on the bench for the third, I'm going to be able to better myself, just learning how the players interact too, and how they interact with me. And, again, how the coaches interact with them was big for me. So,
Well, that's awesome, man. And for those, youngsters that are listening, or really anybody, nobody's ever too big or too small.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Like, if to get ahead, you have to, like you said, wear multiple hats, willing to do really anything, so to speak, for the organization, whether it's any sport or a company or whatever. And, whether it's you're the video guy, goalie coach, to the backup or e-bug, you know what I mean? It says a lot about you as a person, Eddie. And I'm glad you're doing well, man. I really am.
I appreciate it, it's been fun. It's been a fun year. I've missed it here though. And, it's been nice to be back. And like I said, see everyone, see you. I'm looking forward to seeing Cam and, and Lori, and, catching up with everyone. So, and it's awesome, obviously, to be on here. So I've chirped you a few times about like, oh man, when's my interview?
You did. So you got the call up today, man.
I did. I got the call.
So I appreciate you hopping on. It's always a pleasure seeing you, Eddie. You're my favorite, man.
I appreciate it, man.
And I mean that wholeheartedly, but you're awesome. So
I appreciate it, man.
Like I said, I want an invitation.
Okay.
Certainly consider me to be part of the wedding, because I think I'd be the guy. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, totally.
But at least get me an invitation to that bad boy.
We can get you in there.
Because Nikki's a sweetheart, and I wish you two the best at whatever that may be in the future. Whether it's here, there, or wherever.
I appreciate it. Thank you, man.
And again, thanks for hopping on, Eddie.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me. It's been
You got
great.
it, my friend. Thank you. We'll talk to you, man. Thanks again, Eddie.
All right.
We'll talk to you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for watching this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please remember to like and follow. And remember, take care, comb your hair, and keep the stick on the ice.